Hello, it's good to see you. Oh, hello you down there, hello. Oh, you up there as well, hello, you. No, stop that. Hello, so my name is Saul, and I thought today I would tell you a Jewish story about a happy woodcutter, and this seems to be as good an environment as any to tell it in. Because in this day and age, I think we need hope to be able to cling on to even the smallest bits of happiness that we can find around us. I thought this story might be sort of inspirational in some way. Because this happy woodcutter always had a smile on his lips and a song on his tongue. And he would go into the woods, and every day he would find dead wood, and he'd chop it down, and he'd bundle it up into firewood, and he'd go into the market, and he'd sell it. And as he chopped, he sang, Mitzvah Gedola Liot Besimcha Liot Besimcha Tamid Mitzvah Gedola Liot Besimcha Liot Besimcha Tamid. He seemed to sing more than cut wood. But it was enough. He'd take the firewood to the town, he'd sell it, and he'd get the food that he needed for him and his wife. And though they didn't have much, it seemed that they had everything. They had each other, and they had their little shack where they lived. After many years, word reached the king of this place about this happy woodcutter, who, no matter what he did, was always happy. And the king thought, no, this isn't possible at all. No, that's not right. Look at me, I have everything. I have a palace, I have gold, I have servants, I have power. Do you see me being happy? Do you? No, you don't see me being happy, no. I can't believe this about the woodcutter. So he put on a disguise, and he went to spy on the woodcutter. And he found his shack, and he looked in through the window, and he could see that despite the fact that they didn't have much, he and his wife were happy. And he followed him into the woods, and he watched him cut Mitzvah Gedola Liot Besimcha Liot Besimcha Tamid, bundle up the firewood, go to the market and sell it. And he said, look, tell me, man, tell me, how can you be happy all the time? And the woodcutter looked at him and said, well, you know, it's a mitzvah. A mitzvah is a commandment in the Bible. It's a good deed. It's a good deed to find happiness in even the smallest things that you do. Really? We'll see about that, thought the king. And overnight he banned woodcutting. Well, thought the woodcutter, if I can't cut wood, what am I going to do instead? He thought, I know. People need water, don't they? And the well for the town is right on the edge of the town. And there's a long way to walk for a lot of people, for the elderly and the infirm and the key workers who need water every day. So I'll carry water. And he found a stick that he cut down from the forest, the straightest one he could find, and he put it on his back, and he thought, yes, that'll work well. I'll have one bucket on this end and a bucket on the other, and let's try that. So the following day, he went to the well, and when people came, he dipped their buckets in the water, and he carried them home for him. One lady was like, oh, I need water every day. My children, they get through this stuff like water. They think the stuff grows on trees. Oh, and do they offer to help? No. Just me, every day carrying this stuff. And he listened to everybody's stories and gladly carried their water. Thought the king, right, I'll show him. And overnight, he banned water carrying. Thought the happy woodcutter, well, I can't cut wood, I can't carry water. I know, people like to look smart, don't they? They like to have shiny shoes. I'll go into the town and I'll shine people's shoes. And that's what he did the following day. Mitzvah Gedola Liot Besimcha Liot Besimcha Tamid. And people loved the fact that their shoes were so shiny and that they got a song when their shoes were cleaned. No, well, we'll see about that. I've taken away his job. I know. I'll take away his liberty. Throw him into the army. And so the woodcutter was thrown into the army. He was given an ill-fitting uniform and a silver sword, and they were made to parade 18 hours a day, up and down, and they were paid a pittance. And after a couple of weeks of doing this, the woodcutter was tired and he was hungry. And because he was working so hard every day, he didn't have enough time to find another job to make up for the money they didn't have to buy the food that his wife and he needed. and they were starving. And he thought, I don't know what to do now. I wonder, there must be something. Aha, I've got an idea. And he told his wife, oh, we are given a silver sword, but we never use it. We never ever use it. I know what I can do. And so he took his sword and he cut off the blade. And he took the silver blade down to the marketplace and he sold it for a handsome price. And with the money, he bought the food that they needed. And as they ate, he whittled a wooden blade out of the piece of firewood that he had at home. And the next day, he was back on parade, marching up and down for 18 hours, and the king was, I've taken away his job, his liberty, I've made him miserable. Look, he's still happy. Confound him. I know. One last try. And the king walked down to the parade ground, and he pointed at a man, a random man. He said, come here. And he held him in front of everybody else. He said, see this man? You see this man? He stole from me. Yes, he stole from the kitchen larder. And he stole my silver, my finest silver. He stole that. Do you know that? Yes, he stole that. And I bet, given half a chance, he would steal my kingdom. This man is guilty of treason. And he deserves to have his head cut off. Not just make the sound of... He deserves actually having his head properly cut off. And he looked around until he found the happy woodcutter, and he said, you come here. Chop off this man's head. And the happy woodcutter said, but your majesty, I know this man, I know this soldier, and I know him to be honest. There's no way he could have stolen from you. 18 hours a day we work up and down, and when he's not doing that, he is sleeping. He's so tired, he wouldn't possibly have a chance. I know that this man is innocent. Don't you argue with me. I am the king. And if you don't chop off his head, I'll chop off yours, and see how you like that, And the woodcutter thought, and he said, Your Majesty, you are the king. I will do as you command. But one thing, let me tell you this. If this man is innocent, may God turn my sword to wood. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha tamid. And the king realized that it was him who was at fault, and that he could use this happy woodcutter to help instruct him how he could make the kingdom happier, how he could help the people, how he could help them to find their happiness. And so he gave this happy woodcutter a job in the palace as his advisor, helping him make the people happier and finding what would make them content. And you know what? In all the years that he served the king, the woodcutter never used the phrase tier system. And that story is true. I hope you liked it. I hope you like the setting. A little bit shaky, I understand, but I thought it was appropriate today. And hopefully this story helps you just find happiness in the small things that are around us every day that we can appreciate.